Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. It is me, Ohemaa MaMokowa, aka Queen MaMokowa, and today I am going to be doing movie battle. But before I dive into that, I do want to say akwaba or welcome. If you are a new subscriber, do not forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And of course, if you are already a subscriber, thank you, thank you, thank you. Now we're gonna get into it. So of course, with this, I presented the idea as I like to do on Instagram. I was like, hey guys, I want to review once again. What should I review? And of course, thank you to the people who helped me to make the decision to review these two movies. Now, the movies that we are going to be reviewing, because like I said, this is a movie battle, are Get Out and Us. So both of these are by Jordan Peele. Get Out came in 2017 and Us came out in 2019, March 2019. So I was familiar with Jordan Peele because I did watch Key and Peele, and even now I still watch Key and Peele. When I found out that he was doing Get Out and it looked like it was a scary movie, I'm like, I don't know, but it looks good. It's just something about it that made me say, you know what? Let me go and check out this movie. So me and the fiance, we went to see Get Out in the theater, and I am so glad we went to see it. Get Out was so good. First off, I don't even know why it was considered a comedy. Yeah, it was considered a comedy, but I'm like, where? Like, it was funny here and there, but I'm like, for the most part, that movie was not a comedy. So, Get Out stars, and again, this is just in case people haven't seen it. If you haven't seen it, look, this movie has been out for 2 years. So, sorry, not sorry. So, Get Out stars Daniel Kaluuya, and he a fellow British bloke. Daniel Kaluuya was in the movie. So pretty much, how the movie starts off, you're kind of not sure what's going to happen. So LaKeith Stanfield, he's in this movie. If you don't know LaKeith, he is in Atlanta with Donald Glover and Brian Tyree Henry. He was also Snoop Dogg in... Oh, crap. He plays Snoop Dogg in Straight Outta Compton. There we go. So LaKeith is another really great, talented person. And Lil Rel. Now, Lil Rel, he was on the Carmichael show. And, obviously he was in this as well. So pretty much how this starts is, LaKeith is on the phone. We don't know who he's on the phone with. Dre. That's his name in the movie, Dre. Dre is on the phone with someone. He's trying to find his way somewhere. Mind you, it's dark. So first off, it's like, okay, you're a black guy walking out in the dark. Like, come on now. Are you like, you know that's not what you're supposed to do. So as he's walking, this car, and such a pet peeve. I don't know. I would have called a friend because that was just really, really sketchy. So he's talking and, he's walking forward and then he's walking backwards. So it's like, back, forth and forth. And pretty much he ends up getting kidnapped. Yeah, he's put in a sleeper and we don't see him again. Next thing you know, Daniel Kaluuya, I wish I could remember his name. What was his name in this movie? Okay, Daniel and Allison, because Allison Williams plays his girlfriend, they are on their way to visit her parents. So she didn't really mention much about him because I don't know. You know how some white people can be. Anyway, went to visit. They're on their way. They hit a deer. This is where, I guess this wasn't too sketchy, but was some sort of racism, of course, because he wasn't the one driving. He was the passenger. She was the one driving. She hit the deer, but of course the cop, white cop, is the one that was like, can I see your license? And she's like, no, like, why? I was the one driving. He didn't do anything. No. But, the police officer left it alone and was like, okay, you guys be safe, whatever, whatever. And they finally make it to her parents' house. Yeah. Still, it doesn't still seem off. But of course, when the dad is like, if it were up to me, I would have voted for Obama for a third term. I'm like, oh my gosh. But yeah, that's what he said. And like her mom is a psychiatrist. So like, I guess almost immediately she was trying to read him and started asking him about his family. And she did the now classic stir with the spoon. And he like immediately just looks, but he's not put in what we call, or what is known as the sunken place, not yet. But, like he's trying not to smoke and things like that. So like he's tapping his foot and they realize like, okay, let's try to help. Let's try to help him or whatever. So, the black people, actually, as they pull up, one of the black people, like the black guys, he just like waves. And it's like a real, I don't know, something about the way that he waved was just off. I'm like, okay, this is kind of creepy. And then the black woman who's a maid, she was also like, it was almost like she was like smiling every single thing. Well, it's so nice to meet you. And then, everyone is sitting down and she brings some sweet tea and she just keeps pouring. And as they're talking, it's like she zones out and she just pours it and pours it. And she's like, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. And she just like walks away. And it was just like, okay. And it's like, even he knew something was off. But he's just like, okay. And he was unable to sleep. He was trying to get a smoke. And, he goes outside, he comes back. And he goes out, comes back in the house. And the woman is up. Not quite sure why her mom was up. So Rose's mom puts him in a trance. Like, she's explaining to him, like, he's talking about things that happened. And she's like, now sink. And he's like, no. But it was too late. He goes in the sunken place and it is so wild. Oh my gosh. Like, wow. Like he started crying and he couldn't move. Like he felt paralyzed and it was like sunken place. Next thing you know, he's out of the sunken place in his bed, and it's kind of like, how did he get in his bed? Because we don't see how that happened. All we know is that, okay, now all of a sudden he's back in his bed. We're gonna fast forward to the reunion. This was something else. So with the reunion, like he's charging his phone because he's a photographer. He likes to take pictures. So he just wanted to charge his phone and I guess, just have the phone charged. So here, all the white people are being really, really weird. They're like feeling on his muscles and saying really, I don't know. So some of the comments just seemed really off. Like, oh, well, with your kind of DNA. Because like even Rose's brother was like, oh, you like MMA? Do you do MMA, like UFC? And it's like, what? And he's like, with your type of DNA? It's like, whoa, what is happening? Like, I'm pretty sure this is not a normal conversation. So I'm surprised that he still stayed, because had it been me, I would have found a way out. Like, okay, this conversation is getting a bit weird. So back to the reunion. So he's out and he sees Dre, and he walks up to him, and Dre goes by a different name. Like, he's not even Dre. Like, he doesn't call himself Dre, and he's talking very, I don't know. He's like, hi, Chris. It's very nice to meet you, and I hope to see you again later on. Oh, well, please excuse me. Wow, yes, please excuse me. Like, he's talking like that. And even the way that he was dressed, it was like, something is off. So I guess his sugar mama, or whatever she was like, okay, it's time to go. So not quite sure what prompted Chris to take a picture, but Chris tried to take a picture, like, he tried to be discreet with the picture taking, but the flash was on. So it's like everything just froze. And Dre just like looks. And almost like a pit bull, well, kind of like a pit bull, he starts to attack him. He's like, get out, get out, get out. And it's like, whoa. And Chris is like, whoa, 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 yo, 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 yo. And it's just like, oh my goodness. So then, the other white people are like, okay, come on, let's go and get you some rest. Let's go and lay down. So it's probably like 10 minutes. I don't even know what they did to him, but then he came back and was like, I'm pretty sure that I scared you with what happened outside, but I am okay now. Thank you. Hope to see you later, Chris. And it was like normal, like nothing even happened. So Chris goes upstairs, and as soon as he goes upstairs, all the white people get quiet. Because they were all talking. As soon as he goes upstairs, all the white people get quiet. He goes upstairs because, he wants to find his phone. He wants to talk to Lil Rel. Lil Rel was hilarious in this movie, by the way. He wants to talk to Lil Rel and, let him know about what's going on. They pretty much end up doing like a silent auction, but of course he doesn't know about what's going on. And pretty much he's trying to talk to Georgina. He's not trying to talk her out of it, but like, he's trying to talk to her, and she's like, no, 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 no. And like, as she's saying it, it's like there's a tear, and it's like, whoa, what is happening? And like Walter was off, like he was running towards Chris, and then the light came on, and then he ran away from the light, and it's like, it was a lot of different things that were going on that was kind of like, what is going on? So he was finally able to get a hold of Rod. Rod was Lil Rel. And he's like, yo, you need to get out. You need to get the fuck out. Something's not right. So he's talking to Rose, like, Rose, where are the keys? Rose, where are the keys? Rose, where are the... And she's pretending to look for it. And then at this point, like, he's kind of trapped because, like, her brother and her mother and her dad. And he's like, Rose, where are the keys? And she's like, I was like, what? I was like, oh, that is so messed up. She's like, I can't give you the keys. I was like, oh, crap. So it's like, he starts to clench his jaw because it's just like, wow, I got played. So he gets into a fight with the brother, and the mom, I guess she starts to stir the teacup. So he gets into a trance, falls back. He's paralyzed. He's unable to move. So the mom is like, watch his head, take his legs. So Rose ties her, puts her hair up in a ponytail and is ready to get to work. So next thing you know, when he opens his eyes, we see that he is in this room with the TV, and I guess it's kind of like a tutorial, like it's explaining what's going on, what's going to be happening. So this is where we find out what the family is really about. So they do, the silent auctions, like they kidnap people or they lure people in, do the silent auction, and pretty much they take their brain and put it in the brain of the white person. And I'm guessing they take a little bit of the brain of the white person and they put it in the black person. Crazy. So he figured out what was going on and he comes up with an idea. He takes cotton, puts it in his ears, because any single time that a sound was made, he would be paralyzed and he wouldn't be able to do anything. So I guess somewhere in his gut, he figures that, it's about to be my time to do what I need to do, or it's almost their time to do what they need to do. So he looks at the deer head. Crazy thing. The deer that she accidentally hit, that's the same deer head that ends up in that room. Crazy. So he takes the deer head. Well, actually, he kills her brother, takes the deer head, and he uses one of the antlers, like he just finishes off her dad. So pretty much he ends up killing he pretty much ends up killing her whole family. He manages to escape. He accidentally hits Georgina. He ends up putting Georgina in the car. Georgina wakes up and she's like, "You ruined my life. You ruined my life. You ruined my life." Car crash. Georgina's dead. This is kind of creepy. So Rose, pretty much she's done what she needs to do. She has these colored Fruit Loops, and then she has a glass of milk. She does not mix the two. She takes the Fruit Loop, puts it in her mouth, and then she drinks. I'm like, what kind of mess is this? Like, the way that she did it is creepy, because it's like, okay, whatever. I'm sure people do that. But the way that she did it was so crazy. And she was looking for her next prey, which was Keegan-Michael Key. Yeah. That she dated Georgina. She dated Walter. She dated Georgina. She dated Walter. She dated Dre. And she lured all of them into this experiment or whatever it is, and that's why they are not really themselves. So he figures this out, and then he tries to escape. He accidentally hits and kills Georgina. Rose must have sent some signal to Walter, because then Walter, he tries to do whatever it is that he has to. Actually, he tries to kill Chris. Chris gets out the car because obviously, he got into a car accident. The car isn't working. But he was able to get a hold. Actually, Rod called Rose, so he figured that Chris was in trouble. So he was on the way, but we didn't know it at the time. So Rose appears. He snaps, he flashes Walter. So Walter, for a quick 10 seconds, he says, Rose, he says, "Give me the gun. I'll do it." He turns around, he shoots Rose, turns the gun on himself. So 2 people are dead. Rose doesn't really die. It's just she just continues to lose breath. She doesn't really die though. Now Chris, you know, he sees the police sirens and it's like, oh crap, he's gonna go to jail. He did not go to jail. Well, in the director's cut, well, in the alternate ending, he does go to jail. That's one of the endings. And then the other one is, of course, what happens, which is Rod comes and helps him, and he's like, it's just been effing handled. And I'm guessing they just go home. Crazy. But it was so genius. The soundtrack was okay, but just the concept was so genius. And it's just like, oh my, it was just great. And again, of course, I had to watch it because I was going to give a review, but I was just like, wow. So that was Get Out. Now with Us,